Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kanda, Book 1, Sarga 21, Canto 21. Vishwamitra's speech. The hermit heard with high content that speech so wondrous, eloquent, and while each hair with joy arose, he thus made answer at the close. Good is thy speech, O noble king, and like thyself in everything. So should their lips be wisdom fraught, whom kings begot, Vashishta thought. The favor which I came to seek, thou garnest ere my tongue can speak. Thou grantest ere my tongue can speak. But let my tale attention claim, and hear the need for which I came. O King, as scripture texts allow, a holy rite employs me now. Two fiends, who change their forms at will, impede that rite with cursed skill. Oft when the task is nigh complete, these worst of fiends my toil defeat. Throw bits of bleeding flesh, and ere the altar shed and stream of gore. Throw bits of bleeding flesh, and o'er the altar shed a stream of gore. When thus the rite is mocked and stayed, and all my pious hopes delayed, cast down in heart the spot I leave, and spent with fruitless labor grieve. Nor can I, checked by prudence, dare let loose my fury on them there. The muttered curse, the threatening word, in such a rite must ne'er be heard. Thy grace the right from check can free, and yield the fruit I long to see. Thy duty bids thee, King, defend the suffering guest, the suppliant friend. Give me thy son, thine eldest born, whom larks like ravens' wings adorn. That hero, youth, the truly brave, of thee, O glorious King, I crave. For he can lay those demons low, who mar my rights and work me woe. My power shall shield the youth from harm, and heavenly might shall nerve his arm. And on my champion will I shower unnumbered gifts of varied power, such gifts as shall ensure his fame and spread through all the worlds his name. Be sure those fiends can never stand before the might of Rama's hand, and mid the best and bravest none can slay that pair but Raghu's son. Entangled in the toils of fate, those sinners proud and obstinate are in their fury overbold, no match for Rama, mighty souled. Nor let a father's breast give way, too far to fond affections sway. Count thou the fiends already slain, my word is pledged, nor pledged in vain. In vain. I know the hero Rama well, in whom high thoughts and valor dwell. So does Vashishta, so do these engaged in long austerities. If thou would do the righteous deed and win high fame, thy virtues meed, fame that on earth shall last and live, to me, great king, thy Rama give. If to the words that I have said, with Saint Vashishta at their head, thy holy men, O king, agree, then let thy Rama go with me. 10 nights my sacrifice will last, and ere the stated time be past, those wicked fiends, those impious twain, must fall by wondrous Rama slain. Wondrous, must fall by wondrous Rama slain. Let not the hours I warn thee fly, fixed for the right, unheeded by. Good luck have thou, O royal chief, nor give thy heart to needless grief. Thus in fair words, with virtue fraught, the pious glorious saint besought. But the good speech with poignant sting pierced ear and bosom of the king, who stabbed with pangs too sharp to bear, fell prostrate and lay fainting there. Jai Valmiki Ramayana ki Jai. Footnotes 33 1b. The Indian nectar of drink or drink of the gods. 33 2b. Great joy, according to Hindu belief, has this effect, not causing each particular hair to stand on end, but gently raising all the down upon the body. Mm. 34 1. The Rakshasas, giants or fiends who are represented as disturbing the sacrifice, signify here, as often elsewhere, merely the savage tribes which place themselves in hostile opposition to Brahminical institutions. Bullshit. Unbelievable bullshit. This is just plain British misinterpretation of Ramayana. Complete ignorance. Complete foolishness. First of all, Rakshasas are giants. Not only giants, but a very demigod-like beings. They're not ordinary human beings. They are on par with demigods in heaven. And Rakshasas, they have a lot of mystic powers too, yogic powers. Rakshasas are also decorated with all kinds of virtues too, like for example performing great austerities of fasting and living on air, on pranayama, and doing yoga for thousands of years of unimaginable amount of years to achieve their to their goals. um, um, they are willing to sacrifice everything for their, how to say, for their desires, for their, mm, you know, ambitions, like that. And Rakshasas are not some, some tribes, savage tribes, such a complete bullock, complete, absolute British bullock. Okay, Rakshasas are not some savage tribes that we have, that a picture is painted as some poor, poor aborigines living in some jungle nobody knows about, completely insignificant, harmless, you know, complete nonsense. This kind of misinterpretation of Ramayana, oh my God, it's just like absurd. Okay, absurd. Rakshasas are on par with demigods. They are super powerful beings, almost on par of superheroes. Like superheroes and supervillains. On this kind of par are Rakshasas, not some villagers, some tribes. Oh, oh, absolute nonsense, absolute nonsense, coming from the British interpretation like that. Check this one out one more time. I mean, this is so condescending. Okay, condescending. Merely the savage tribes which place themselves in hostile opposition to Brahminical institutions. They try to paint this picture how Brahmanas are evil, the caste system is all evil, you know, how Rakshasas are some, you know, tribes around this great institution of Brahmanas and this and that. This is the picture they tried to paint. In other words, discrediting Ramayana as authentic history. Okay? Because I understand why people would say such things, because it's beyond their peanut brain to comprehend the gravity of the situation, the size of the situation, the size of Ramayana, the size of all these uh, things happening back then. The Rakshasas have mystic powers by which they can change their form at will. Okay? This is completely incomprehensible to the Kali Yugan, like this particular dude, Ralph Griffith. It is completely incomprehensible to put this into his Kali Yugan mind, limited mind, that there are beings on par with demigods who can change their form at will. That's why Ravana, the Rakshasa, when he was asking the boon from Brahma, after he completed an innumerable amount of years of austerity, so severe yoga practices of complete abstinence from everything, sitting in one place and meditating for thousands of years, unbelievable amount of time. This huge austerity is performed. So when the finally Ravana's austerities came to a conclusion after so much time, Lord Brahma came to him. Lord Brahma came to him and asked him, what does he want? And Ravana said very simple, because of his self-centeredness, he wanted the power to rule over the whole universe. He wanted that power that nobody can kill him. And he was enumerating no demigods, no Gandharvas, no other Rakshasas, no, nobody else could kill him. But he didn't mention a mere man, a mere human, because they are so insignificant. Humans, a man, is so insignificant in comparison to Rakshasas or demigods that Ravana did not even bother to mention man, a human, a man. And that's why the whole pastime of Ramayana is designed by God, by Krishna, by Rama, in such a way that Rama himself appears as an ordinary human being. And the whole struggle against Ravana is beautifully, poetically described in Ramayana. So these are the Rakshasas, super powerful villains, super powerful heroes, okay, whose purpose was to rule the whole universe, or to achieve anything they wanted, their selfish desires like that. So this is the gravity of Ramayana. This is the size of the Ramayana. We're talking about these kind of human beings and superhuman beings. This is what we are talking. We are talking about the whole universe. Universe is not empty. Universe is populated with innumerable different demigods, with innumerable different demons and rakshasas and yakshas, super beings that it's completely beyond our comprehension. Okay, no, humans are not the top of the evolution, not even close. We are like ants in comparison to rakshasas, like ants, or in comparison to demigods. Okay, that's what Ramayana is talking about. Okay, that's what Ramayana is talking about. But in order to understand this, you need to read Ramayana every single day. Okay, and not read some stupid comments of ignorant fools like this Ralph Griffith. Okay, he might be intelligent fool because he knows, I guess, to translate Sanskrit into British language. But to write things like this, think about this one more time. Think about this one more time. Merely the savage tribes, merely the savage tribes which place themselves in hostile opposition to Brahminical institutions. The picture painted with this particular, half sentence, it is so wrong on so many levels, so wrong, so misinformed conclusions. Just the whole purpose of demons is to discredit Vedic culture, is to discredit the Vedas, it is to discredit the Ramayana, it is to discredit Mahabharata, and not consider them histories, but consider them some nice, fairy tales, stories by which you can draw something, something moral out, some some value out of it, for for you, for your own something. That's the whole purpose of this kind of misinterpretations of Ramayana that we have to address. Okay, that's it. Ciao.